Okay, fantastic. So here's the thing. One of the interesting anomalies or interesting things that came from the research that we conducted was we found that the bottom performers, price came up very, very early in the conversation. So what we found was price came up in the first third of the conversation. Interesting, with the top performers, price was only discussed right at the end of the meeting, normally in the last third of the meeting. Now think about it. If price is coming up too early, why is that? Well, remember, your customers are always looking for some way to differentiate you and your product. Well, if you haven't given them enough value, if you haven't spoken in terms of transformation, if you haven't spoken in terms of how your product will take them from an undesirable state to a more desirable state, what you've basically done is your customer's sitting there and they're thinking, well, how can I differentiate this product? Well, the only way to differentiate your product, if you don't add value, if you don't show them how your product stands out, or how your product has a differential advantage, or how your product can do something special, unique, or different, the only way that your customer can differentiate their product is on price. So think about that. What else can you do? How else can you bring value into the conversation? How can you never speak about just features, but you always speak about features, benefits, advantages, and you connect the transformation. So you talk in terms of transformation that your customers can enjoy. Because when you do that, it becomes very, very easy for your customers to perceive value, your customers to see value. Because remember, your customers are willing to pay any price as long as the price you're asking them to pay is lower than the value that they receive. So find ways to add value, and price is not an issue. Because with the top performers, price was an investment, because obviously every product, every service is charged. There's a price charged for it. So in the case of the top performers, they were speaking value, they were speaking transformation, they were connecting how their value proposition can add value in a meaningful way to their customers so that it'll meet their needs, values, and expectations. But most importantly, what they were doing was consistently showing value. And as long as the value, like I said, exceeds the price, price will not be an issue. The bottom performers, price came up really early. Why? Because the customer wasn't seeing any value. So they wanted to know, well, I've got to differentiate this product somehow, so let me ask about the price. Versus the top performers were standing and they were consistently adding value, and they were consistently showing how this product will indeed do what it says it's going to do. In fact, it'll exceed expectations. And based on that, price came up right at the end as an investment, that I will invest into this product and that is what it will cost me. So think about that next time. How can you, in your conversations, keep adding value? Alright, so the errors that we found is that the reason that price comes up too early could be that you may not have invested sufficient time to properly qualify your prospect. Now think about it. If you've qualified your prospect up front, you've uncovered that these people are a perfect fit. They are part of my tribe. They need exactly what I have to sell. They need my differential advantage. They appreciate the value that I can add. That's my tribe. But if you go and you think there's 7.6 billion possible customers out there, and you're trying to propose, or you are approaching the wrong prospect who doesn't see the benefits of your differential advantage, doesn't see the additional value that you're adding, obviously it's going to be very difficult for you to discuss, or should I rather say, for you to add the kind of value that is in the mind of the customer going to allow their perceived value to exceed the price that you're going to charge. The second error that you make is you may not have asked sufficient discovery questions. So if you haven't asked enough discovery questions, well, you have no idea, or you're not completely certain how to connect your value proposition and all the differential advantages that goes with it to each customer's unique needs, values, expectations, and goals. And the third error that you make, or the third error that you may make, is you may not have understood how to communicate your value to your future customer in terms that they understand. So, remember, we've got different personality types. Each personality type socializers look and they go, okay, so what's in it for my people? Organizers go, how will these systems help me? Learners go, well, I need to know as much knowledge as I possibly can so that I can make a decision. And a dominant wants just a summary telling them what's in it for them. So think about that when you are discussing things with your customers. You may very well have properly connected your value proposition to your customers' needs, values, and expectations, but you haven't managed to explain it to that customer in terms of their thinking style, in terms of their decision-making process. Because if you don't manage to do that, your customers are not going to understand what your unique selling proposition is, what your differential advantage is, what additional value you can actually add to their businesses. Because when you get that right, price is no longer an issue. So your objective with the price is to speak transformation. Your objective with the price is to make sure that you find additional innovative ways to add value. Your objective is to make sure that you communicate how you add the value. Your objective is to make sure that you select your tribe, that you are making sure that you're talking to your perfect prospect. And you need to know that the information that you're providing is provided in a way that that person who thinks or makes decisions in a certain way, that you communicate that information to them in a way that they can understand.